Hi there, back at it again today. I think that the transmission mount for my son's truck is doesn't have any rubber in it. So we're gonna inspect that real quick with our handy dandy snake looking camera thing and see what happens. Right here is where the transmission mount is. I'm gonna take that camera thing and shove up in there and see what that looks like. Alright, as you saw, that thing shot, so we're going to tear this out. I've already hit this with penetrating oil. Now we're going to just undo these, loosen them up. Size wise, these are 5/8, and I'm probably going to have to put a breaker bar on them to get them off, because they've probably been on here since 1976. Oh, actually no. So far so good, huh? That one's loose. Well, I still brought myself something for some extra leverage just in case. Sorry for the noise. Had to scrape it on the exhaust. Alright, so both those are loose. So there's these two here, and there's one on each side of the mount up by the transmission, where I was going in with that camera that goes in there. So we'll undo those next. Alright, it's going to be hard to film and take this apart, but there's a bolt right here that goes up into that little bracket deal, actually into the transmission itself. And there's one of those on each side, so I'm going to take those out next. Let's see if we can get this hammer to get this thing out of here. Couldn't find my hammer for a minute. My kids get a hold of my tools and then they go missing, go figure. It's kind of irritating, quite honestly. And this is my favorite hammer. It's definitely a little awkward. Can't tell if that moved or not. I would take that as a knot. Okay, got her loose. All I'm doing with all this is getting it loose first. Then I can see if we're well, if I can't get them loose, there's no reason to mess with it, so I'm getting them loose first. Then I'm going to put a jack under the transmission, all that good stuff. Of course, I'm going to show you all that, but anyway. So that one's loose, moving to the next one. And that one came out pretty alright. So I'm going to take these out, go get my jack, and we'll jack it up. So what I've got going on here, I've got a piece of 4x4 and a 2x4, so I can span that pan on the bottom there. And then we're going to jack that up, and all I'm trying to do is get a little clearance, just enough to get the mount out. So let's jack it up. Oh, shit. Okay, I think that's enough to get that out. Let's take a look here. Yep, that's it. Okay. So, here's our mount. And as you can see, that baby shot. That's worse than I thought it was even. So we'll get the new one in there and take it around the block and see how it is. I went and got a couple of different mounts just for comparison. This is the old one, and these are just two different brands. Looking at them, this one's got the longer thing on it. It matches more that way. You can see it's kind of universal where it'll go back and forth. But I don't know. I'm thinking just matching up the bolt holes. Okay, like this one's not going to work. The shorter one here, because the bolt holes don't line up. So it looks like this one is going to have to be the way that I go. Just looking at it, the bolt holes line up better. One more time on this one. If I line up the one hole, I'm not even close over here. So this one will have to go back, even though I like the mount, this part of it better. This one will fit, and the other one will not. Also lining up these here, those look like those will line up fine. So let's slap that guy in. So here's the new mount. Just kind of slides in. My jack keeps losing a little bit of pressure, so I have to kind of jack it up as I go here. As long as I can slide it in there, we're good. Just like that. Something to that effect anyway. Alright, so let's get the bottom bolts in. You saw earlier kind of where they go. I just want to make sure they're lined up first before I get too carried away. So if this thing doesn't fit, then I'm taking it back. Okay, so that one's going in good. I'm just doing all this stuff loose, just to make sure everything fits. I'm sitting there looking at this and I have no idea what this is. There's this piece here, I have no clue what it is. It's a washer, obviously, of some sort. But I've already got two washers. So I have no idea where that came from. It looks like it's obviously a spacer of some sort, so I gotta do some digging and see where that came from. That's super weird. Well, I'm gonna shut this off and look around for a minute. Okay, I figured out what those extra washers were for. You need two washers here. They're a spacer. Otherwise the bolt bottoms out and it won't tighten up. Alright, so that's tightened. There's 4 bolts, they're all tight. Bottom's all done. We are good to go. So I'm going to take this jack out and we'll take it for a test drive. Alright, I messed that up earlier. Okay, so these washers, or spacers, go on top of the mount. And I should have saw that before, but I guess I didn't. As you can see, the 2 washers go on the top. If I don't put them back there, it'll mess up the drive angle. So now we're going to tighten it back up and then we'll go for a ride. Alright, just took it around the block and much better. When you put it in gear, it doesn't like jerk all over the place. So I guess that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.